50 years after independence under 4 different regimes, the country has had 4 heads of state with 2 from one family. The Kenya at 50 celebrations was a replay of the 1963 script when the country's first president, Jomo Kenyatta, led the country into the frenzy of post-colonialism. Now, KTN Samogina reports the country's golden jubilee celebrations were more like a ritual performed after the prince's assumption of the crown, a father-son leadership affair.
It was a nostalgic ceremony celebrating the country's liberation history as well as chart its future. But underneath the reflections and foresight, history was repeating itself quite literally, the common denominators being the persons and events. While exactly 5 decades ago it was Kenya's founding President Jomo Kenyatta hoisting the flag at the historic Uhuru Gardens, the ceremony was replicated 50 years later, with Jomo's son Uhuru taking guard as the country's 4th president. Both occasions quite symbolic. In his reign, Jomo Kenyatta hoisted the flag symbolizing attainment of self-rule from the shackles of British imperialists, while the son picking up the baton to pay homage to selfless heroes, but also lead the country into its future to write a new history.
Today, my great joy to join the people of Kenya in celebrating freedom. I want you all to know and never forget what wonderful people we are as Kenyans.
But the father and son's point of departure is on the stewardship of the country to spur development. In 1963, Jomo Kenyatta played safe in his historic speech over his inadequacies, stating, quote, "We shall make our mistakes, but this will be only like the temporary flutterings of the escaped bird. Soon our wings will be strong and we shall soar to greater and greater heights," end of quote. President Uhuru Kenyatta on his part was quite critical and hard-hitting on the performance of the past regimes in the past 5 decades.
We have yet to reach the promised land. Over the last 5 decades, we have missed opportunities to be the best of the best in the world.
Nonetheless, 5 decades later, the two Kenyattas will be addressing the same issues of poverty eradication, ignorance and disease. As symbols of national unity, the Kenyatta dynasty is equally still grappling to unite the country. 50 years ago, Jomo Kenyatta appealed to the nation saying, quote, "I ask you to resolve to put aside all selfish desires and to strain every ounce of muscle and brain to building a nation which shall honor our dead, inspire our living, and prove a proud heritage for those who are yet to come," end of quote. But the president has took it upon himself to prioritize uniting the country, especially after a heated, divisive elections.
We must remain united as Kenyans, and I underscore that this is not a matter of choice.
Samogina, KTN, Nairobi.